The governor at the time was Albert Bell, who was a member of the Rotary Club of Geelong. He appointed Ern Oliver, who was a past district governor in those days of 280, to be his special representative in the challenge of forming a Rotary Club in Werribee. Ern said to me, "I'd like to start a Rotary Club. Would you be interested and would you help me?" And I said, yes, I'd be interested. I gave him a number of names. We had a meeting with a number of invited people, and Jenny said, don't come home with a job. But what happened is Ern Oliver said, I appoint Jim McPherson as president and Ian Knight as charter secretary. I nearly fell off the chair.
I didn't get a job as a secretary or treasurer because it's a bit harder for me to do that. But I was a social chairman, I think, almost every year, because they knew I can cook a sausage because I was in the butcher shop, and also they knew about a little bit about meat, so I didn't mind to do that.
The charter was actually held in the Centenary Hall. We first met at the Commercial Hotel, and we met there for some years actually, and it was a great venue. The fellowship and the culture was great. It was very enthusiastic. The whole group of people that came together moulded together very, very quickly and got very involved in grassroots community service. And some of the early projects that we did was raising money for a bus to transport disabled children to Altona, because we didn't have any facilities in Werribee at all at that time. There was no aged care facility at all in Werribee. And I put the challenge to the club that we should look into and start an aged care facility, which we did, which is still in existence today, which was Manor Court. It's now a 100-person aged care facility. We had a lot of great social functions, car rallies and picnics and so forth. And the Rotary Club of Werribee was very much a family-type Rotary Club. And we started hosting our first exchange student, who was Graham Pett from Canada. I believe that any community is richer for its service clubs, and I believe that Werribee's been richer for what it has done in community service for Werribee. Well, Tino came into the shop one day, and I said to him, would you like to join Rotary? Because I was asked to help start another Rotary Club. So Tino, he had a butcher shop just down the road from my news agency, and I asked him to be a member. I was only 31 and he was only 21.
Well, really what Ian said is true, but also when I used to go there buy the paper, so I used to buy also the papers to wrap up the meat that I have to put in the white paper. So not only invited me to Rotary, but he still made a few bob out of me. But I didn't know anything about Rotary. I'm very glad that really Ian asked me to be a Rotarian, because I'm still enjoying it after almost 50 years.
Tino's always been very community minded and very enthusiastic about Rotary. We had a bit of a competition running for just on 50 years about staying 100% in Rotary, and we were both 100% for just on this 50 years. There was a situation at our house that I was hosting a number of past governors when I was governor at home, and I asked him to help with the barbecue, and I've got a famous picture of him with the world president cooking a barbecue at my house. That was Chuck Keller, by the way.
Yeah, but also I think the same, I don't know if it's the same world president, I think with the big good fire.
Oh, yeah, that's another story. No, that was another time.
That was another time. Always remember a community meeting, we finished 12 o'clock at night. I thought it was early. Robert wondered why I got home so early. But anyway,
Tino's quite right. Out of great fellowship or companionship and family involvement, the Rotary Club grew the service to the community, because all the members were very involved.
We used to, when somebody used to go in a new house, so we used to give them a surprise. I remember when I went in a new house, I didn't know anything at all. There's probably about 50 cars turned up at our place, but it was good things like that. It was just that you never forget those things. So that's what I'm saying about the social side. but you can't buy those things really. It doesn't matter how rich you are or whatever. I'm one of my characters, I think, were bathed in power because and I always remember, the price of the food. And he said, with a leg of lamb, I said, I get nothing, we can feed a dozen people, why do I have to pay so much?
That time with Baden Powell, it was over in Mount Gambier. He was very careful with his money. Were you there that night at Mount Gambier in the dining room? We left him with the bill. We did go and pay it later, but he got a bit of a shock. True story. But Jim McPherson, as the charter president, was an outstanding person, a very competent administrator, and he had gave a lot of leadership to the club in the early days. The other person that I remember was Jack Gardner.
Jack Gardner, yeah.
And he was a dairy farmer originally, but he'd started what he called the bull farm, which is over at Bacchus Marsh. And Graham Combin, who was quite a character, he was my secretary, and when I was president, but he was general manager of the Westgate Bridge. And at one stage he invited us all down to the Westgate Bridge, and when it was being built, and we went inside the whole Westgate Bridge as a vocational visit, which was quite interesting. Yeah, but we also put seats in the main street. There was nowhere for somebody to sit in the main street, and we put seats in the main street.
We did sort of barbecue and a couple of things in the Kelly Park. I think Ian was always more serious than I did, because he doesn't drink as much as me, and not that I drink much, but we almost take it for granted to be a Rotarian. But those places like Italy and that you really they stand out that you are a Rotarian. Oh, Rotarian, we like I said, we all the same sort of thing. But there, when you got that little badge, they really judge you as a really, somebody with credibility. Is that the word? Something like that.
What was the word?
Credibility.
Credibility.
I know the word is maybe not right, but anyway, you people, if you're listening,
he taught him. He came into the shop by the Herald from me every night to teach himself English, and he did a great job.
Some of the young Rotarian we just got in the club with Anthony and then Matty Vaina and all those, and they're all very good, which is, I can see there, but we need a few more of those type of people, and Jason, and so I'm happy the way they're coming up, and personally, but like I said, it's very hard to get a member, but those we pick up the last few years, they've been very good. If you got the opportunity to join like a Rotary Club, or you put, I suppose, the family first and the business second, and charity third. But that's why I joined to still be a Rotarian, and people say about this and that, but put your hand up and do something. Not just talk about it, and do something. That's about it. Well, keep going. I can talk.
Keep talking.